Okay, and it's recording. Don't worry, I'll go through and, you know, cut out this opening section or parts of it, maybe. Alright, so this is our video response to R.D. Wald's meme, to the questions that people asked us. If you didn't, you know, ask us questions, well, it's too late for your question to get in this video. Sorry. Okay. Alright, the basics of the meme were ask any question and we'll respond to it. Bald-ass newbie immediately comes to a point that he likes to ask every now and then, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I'm probably going to be looking at this video and laughing my ass off at myself. Let's see. Some woman wants me to tell you folks more about Dangy. How did we meet? Did I ever see myself getting married before? Not before meeting, but obviously I had plans to move out of state when my relationship started getting all relationshipy. Tell us about what was going through your mind at that time and the decision to stay in Michigan. Think she should make a cameo in your video?
Hi.
Though that's not really a question. Let's see. I shouldn't have been. I just did the 1 years behind your head. There we go. Take a screenshot of that. I think I'm recording this at 7. What?
It's moose ears.
Moose ears?
Yeah. For all the Canadians out there.
Okay. Wait. Oh, right. I
don't know.
I think only 1 or 2 Canadians are going to be viewing this that I know of. Let's see. Most of them, I think, are from Wisconsin. Same thing, right?
Most of the Canadians are from
most
Wisconsin.
of the people who are going to view this, I think, are actually in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Which is, you know, same thing. That's a part of Canada, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, they talk similar.
Or maybe Canada's part of Wisconsin.
Or the UP. You guys stole half our state. Alright, let's see.
We stole half of their state.
However that works. They're all the same people. The people in the UP go for Green Bay anyway, so, you know, to hell with them.
Yeah, go Lions or something.
Yeah, I think it's Lions. Is it Lions or is Green Bay? Yeah, Green Bay is an NFL team, right?
Good job.
Okay. Well, we met, you know, okay, first or second time. This is always a fun question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we met, I was a sophomore and you were
a senior.
A senior in high school. Extracurricular called Science Olympiad. I don't think we ever actually talked in Science Olympiad.
Must have at some point.
Why?
I don't know.
Is this a statistical inevitability?
Yeah.
Not at Science Olympiad.
It's like 180 days. There's like 15 people.
Well, yeah, and I was usually off with like Steve Drucke setting fire to the lab tables.
Uh-huh. That would cause some discussion.
Suppose that's true. Let's see. Obviously, oh right. So that's when we first met. Didn't hit it off. Didn't hit it on. Didn't hit it at all. But and didn't see her again until, you know, about a year ago actually. So from about the year 2000 to early 2010, and we wound up at the same D&D game, which was an amazing coincidence. But I actually understand that she got to see video of me before I saw anything of her.
Kind of see in the sense of Jesse holding out his cell phone going, "This is this guy you know!" Like, sure. Okay.
If you saw the video of me acting out a report on an event that occurred within a Shadowrun campaign, then that would have been the video in question. If you haven't, then we'll leave it as a noodle incident. Let's see. Okay, obviously. Oh wait, did I ever see myself getting married before? I was actually just about ready to give up on the prospect. Always wanted to, was always looking forward to having kids. Was about ready to give up. Let's see. Obviously, I had plans to move out of state when my relationship started getting all relationship-y. Shippers. Why do I have fanfics running through my head now? Let's see. Yeah, I was planning on moving out of state, but, well, yeah, in all honesty, this is, the biggest reason why I'm still in Michigan. And, she would have followed me to South Carolina, but, I figured it made, significantly greater amount of sense to stick around and, at least get to know her family before I yanked her a few states away from them and me a few states away from most people I knew. And that would have been a very, very strange social circumstance to try to get a feel for. Let's see. Tell us about what was going through your mind at the time and the decision to stay in Michigan. I think I explained that just now. And this is a pretty long cameo.
Yep.
Being engaged. What will be the single biggest change I see happening after I'm married? Does that change cause any anxiety? The single biggest change I see happening after I'm married? Kids.
Kids.
Does that cause any anxiety? Hell yeah. If it didn't, there'd have to be something wrong with me. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm expecting there to be issues of contention and parenting and just interacting with a maturing young mind when I don't exactly qualify as the most mature seeming adult. And I probably never will. Let's see. Nizo? I always pronounce that Nitzo, by the way. Nizo505 says, I have to admit I'm tempted to do this too, but who... Oh, okay, that's not really a question. Who knows what scary questions you guys will ask? Well, I know some of them. Let's see, how is Rosetta Code going? It's going well. And it's picking up steam all the time. I enjoy it, and I enjoy that it's, it's getting more community support. The community is, always learning how to run itself, better, and it's scaling itself, as it grows. So it's been really nice. The biggest problems we're running into is dealing with technical needs. I mean, there's some very straightforward technical things that need to be done, but the question is when anybody can find the time to actually implement them. Let's see. It is scary, but I think it's also unhealthy. Oh, right, that was Blinder's response to Nizo. Beetlezoo2 says that I have an obvious talent for technology and computers that I really admire, or that he really admires. Switching perspectives there. How did I get into computers and technology? I fell in love for the first time in 2nd grade with an Apple IIe. I forgot to put a floppy disk in it, discovered that I could program it, and that pretty much describes how I got into it. There's a very long story, how I kept getting deeper and deeper into it, but then I'd have to tell you my life story, and that's a little too long for this. Let's see. Do I find myself in meat space, isolated by my geekiness? I mean, let's see. Ardiewald often finds things funny, interesting, or infuriating that those around him do not understand because they aren't geeks. As one of the geekiest people he knows, and he says that with affection, does this happen to me? Yes and no. I'm isolated from some... I can be isolated from some folks by my geekiness, but on the other hand...
You're still pretty much surrounded by geeks.
Yeah, I build, I build and construct and try and I surround myself with people who I see as in some fashion smarter than me, so that I can keep learning from them, and they like to I like to think they like to learn from me too, so it works out pretty well. I don't feel isolated because my social life is very much with geeks, and there are a lot of geeks that to be found and coalesced into interesting social circles. Let's see, Sparky4, whose multiply first name is Sparky. And Sparky is my friend's Chris's friend. Let's see.
There's a picture of a cute dog.
Picture of a cute dog.
It's a cute dog. It's
Isn't
not
that
as cute, not as cute as a beagle.
Isn't that the RCA Victor dog or something like that? What species is that?
What species is it? It's a dog.
It's a dog? Okay. Canis lupus? It's never lupus.
Isn't that a wolf?
Not lupus? A wolf? Right. I don't know. I don't know my species. I can't figure out humans for the life of me. That's it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Especially women.
He doesn't know much about me, so he'd like an introduction. I'm Mike. I am a computer geek. I enjoy being a cute computer geek. I would like to become more of a computer geek.
I don't think that's possible.
I hope it is. Otherwise, where am I going with my life?
I don't know.
And that brings up, bald ass newbies question all over again.
That's true.
I'm 27 years old, engaged, and I run a programming website called rosettacode.org. Write software, deal with C++ on Windows most of the time. At home I run Linux. That's a pretty fair summary. Oh, I should probably add I've never spent more than 3 months outside of the West Michigan area in my entire life. So I'm very much the Midwesterner. Well, Midwestern flavor of geek. Let's see. Talenum says he's asking everyone the same question. If you were the all-being master of time, space, and dimension, how would you make this world a better place? I wouldn't. Anything I tried, I'd screw it up, so, I'd rather not be responsible for the unintended consequences. Let's see. 57 Degrees asks, has there been anything in or about Rosetta Code that was surprising or happily unexpected? Yes, very frequently, and ever since very close to the beginning. Most recently, it was a massive influx of donations, but well, let's see. There's also Larry Wall started participating on the site. That was very happily unexpected.
That made him go squeak.
I very much enjoyed seeing languages and language implementations, improve as a result of working at implementing tasks on Rosetta Code. I get every now and then I get an email from somebody or see a comment or blog post from somebody where they say that Rosetta Code's helped them as a student or just learning things or implementing things, and it's really nice to be able to feel like I helped them. I don't think that I have enough direct technical knowledge to be able to significantly help individuals directly. But what I can do with Rosetta Code is feel like I'm contributing to the art and the general level of technology and competence by providing an environment where people can learn, show off their languages, their tools, their skills, and see what they like, and get jealous of each other's success, and improve their own tools and products and ideas to compete. I enjoy providing that environment. Let's see, what's my home computer setup like? Emacs or Vi? GNOME or KDE, or one of the better alternatives. How are you recording the video? That might cause Pulse Audio to be a problem. Oh, right. I need to answer a question about Pulse Audio. How do you foresee, or do I ever foresee a time when Rosetta Code will be a source of income for me? Have you ever been surprised by any of the languages that appeared on Rosetta Code? Are there any that I'd like to see that aren't there? What's the significance? There's a lot of questions here. Alright, let's start at the top. What's my home computer setup like? Let's see. Gigabit switch, DSL router at the moment. I'd like to get rid of that and use Wash, who's going to be a Linux-based router. Home computer setup, I have Serenity, who's a quad-core Phenom 9650 with 6 gigs of RAM. Wash has 4 gigs of RAM in it, or in him, but he's a 32-bit processor of some form that I don't recall. Mal is a
Athlon 64 dual core.
Right, and that was socket AM2, so we can upgrade that to a Phenom at some point.
Yeah, with the new motherboard.
You have 2 or 4 gigs right now?
4 gigs.
4 gigs? Okay. And she's using the Radeon 5770 that Helix convinced me to buy about a year ago. I'm back to using a GeForce something or other low-end passive cooling. 1080p display on my system, 1080p on hers, plus a 1024 by 768. We have Inara.
Plus 1280.
1280 by 1024, right. Inara is has a 720p display. She's our home theater PC. That's a.
She provides us entertainment.
Yeah, Inara is our companion. Let's see. We just added, re-welcomed a member to the family, so to speak. I got my PlayStation 3 back from my parents, and that is now known as Badger. Badger. If you haven't figured it out yet, our network name is Firefly. Let's see. Emacs or Vi. I usually use Vim. Get it if I need something that's GUI. GNOME or KDE. If I have to, I'll use one of them, yes. For example, on the tab... Oh, right, that's right.
Inara has GNOME.
No, Inara's running GNOME. Let's see. Serenity is running Awesome, which is a tiling window manager. Really nice and convenient for someone like me that doesn't like to have to touch the mouse. Which reminds me of Saffron, who's the tablet PC that I bought off a friend. Saffron's running GNOME, Arc. I should probably just discuss distributions. Shice, this is going to be long. Serenity's running Debian 5. Mel's running...
Ubuntu 10.10, Xubuntu, as XFCE.
I don't remember if Wash is running an Ubuntu or a Debian. Inara's running Ubuntu 10.10. Saffron's running Arc. Let's see. Let's see. How am I recording the video that might cause pulse audio to be a problem? Let's see. Well, as it turns out, ultimately the problem is that I'm using a program called GBCView. UVC is the the class of devices for USB that handles video, and GBCView is a pretty decent, as it turns out, tool for querying the camera, finding out its capabilities, working with it, and it's doing live transcode to H2 or MPEG for AVC right now, or MPEG AVC. It's transcoding the audio to MP3 and putting it in a Matroska container. The Pulse Audio issue, I didn't have. I just recently started setting up Pulse Audio, and between Wine, Firefox with Flash, and some straight ALSA applications, they were competing, and I didn't have ALSA properly wrapped, so I got that fixed. But it turns out GBCView is talking to ALSA directly and not using a wrapper, or it's doing something strange. Maybe it's statically linked. I'm not sure. But I had to tell Pulse Audio to not manage the webcam for audio input. Let's see. Do I foresee a time when Rosetta Code will be a source of income for me? How legalistic do you want to be? I've got to pay taxes on donations this year. as a primary source of income, I'm not going to count on it. If I count on it, then my whole attitude towards it has to change, and I don't know whether or not will cause me to manage it better or worse as far as what makes Rosetta Code a success. Right now, I'm very much hands off, but if I feel pressured that I have to get Rosetta Code to pay a lot, then I might get hands on, and particularly in a way that's not healthy for it. So the formula works for doing what Rosetta Code accomplishes right now, and I'm afraid to change that until I know why it works. And I'll probably never completely understand why it works. Let's see, have I been surprised by any of the languages that have appeared on Rosetta Code? Are there any that I'd love to see that aren't there? Yes and yes. Well, Snoosp was interesting. Snoosp is kind of a two-dimensional cellular type language. Piet, P-I-E-T, is there. Piet, looks like abstract art. Any that I'd like to see that aren't there? I'd like to see more Forth. It's an interesting language, and I've never, I haven't learned enough of it, and there haven't been a lot of folks contributing a lot of Forth code. Let's see. But, more. I'd love to see. I don't know. I know that there are languages I don't know exist, and I'd love to see those on Rosetta Code. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. What's the significance of 6453? Take a look at a touch-tone phone and look for M-I-K-E. Let's see. What's the worst thing about the USA? You didn't capitalize the word "the." I don't know. What's the worst thing about the USA? I don't know. It depends on how you define it. It could be defined as as its people, which depends on how you want to try to class people. It could be defined as government, which means, do you define the government as its constitution, or do you define its government as its existing bureaucracy and implementation? That's a very, very, very tricky question, and I can't. There's too many different ways for me to answer it, and any way that I might answer it would take an incredibly long amount of time. Politics and economics are both have turned into very strong hobby interests of mine. Thanks.
That ties into the next one. We got a segue.
Oh yes. Eno asks, considering just how involved you seem to be with computers, what would you say is your second most consuming interest? Dagny? Probably politics and economics. Alright, let's see. Popping over to Dagny's site. Meantime, ask her anything and she'll try to answer in video whenever I get the video set up for my answers.
Okay, let's see. Some woman asks, what's your favorite thing about Mike? Okay, that's one of them. He's cute. He has nice hair, and smart and kind of playful.
Kind of playful?
What's your favorite hobby besides Mike? It doesn't say besides Mike. I spent a lot of time on World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons, all those. Trying to distract me?
Yes.
If you could have any job, what would it be? It would probably involve writing, like writing for tabletop role-playing games, something like that. I don't know. Probably any job I'd have, I get bored.
You might want to mention your paper degree.
My paper degree is in English. A minor in German. Which ties into explain any symbolism in your avatar, which Libertarian asks.
That is classical liberal, by the way, I asked.
That's good. I could figure that from the Tyrion part, I guess.
Plausible. I thought it was a weird juxtaposition on his part first time I saw it.
Well, there is that. Some sort of left liberal thing. Yeah. Anyway, explain any symbolism in your avatar. I made this a few years ago for Twitter, and Mike liked it, so I put it on here. But there's a German flag on there because that was my minor. And there's a cat. A cat is supposed to look like Otto, which was Dan's cat, which was a female cat named Otto, which is one of several reasons why that cat was very scarred for life. Probably the one I'll get into here. Right. Next question from Libertarian. For that matter, what is your current job? I work with Mike. I do software testing, support, and so on.
She now takes the tech support calls that used to distract me away from getting anything done, which means I now have to get stuff done.
Yep. So that's good. Blinder asks, Monty Python or Benny Hill? Monty Python. Blinder also asks, so that's not a question, that's talking about Mike setting up the video. We already talked about that. Mike asks, will you marry me?
Thank you. I agree. I accept.
Good. I guess you know now. Comments. 57 Degrees asks, were you ever on Slashdot? I've read Slashdot off and on since the late 90s, but I never really commented. I found my old account, I registered once and I left one comment. I'm pretty sure I left an anonymous comment once, like 4 years later, because I didn't feel like finding that old account. He also asks, do you know how to program a computer, and if so, which languages? I'm working on C++. I know some C++. I'm learning more every day.
Every day and every way?
And tiny amounts of Perl and Bash shell scripting.
It's kind of hard for her to avoid multiple languages when she's around me.
Right. Okay. Engineer Poet asks, bacon and eggs, oatmeal, cold cereal, or granola bar? Well, bacon is always the answer. There's a place in Gainesville, Florida where you can get bacon 24 hours a day. They'll deliver it to you. You can call them up at 4 in the morning and be like, send me bacon! So that's actually where my bacon obsession started from, is hearing that from one of the people in my World of Warcraft guild. Okay. Engineer Poet also asks, Yellowstone, Death Valley, Great Smoky Mountains, or Kitty Hawk? I think I was at Kitty Hawk once. I know I was at Great Smoky Mountains because that was only a few years ago. So I would have to say Great Smoky Mountains because I remember it. Cars, American, Japanese, Korean, or German? I have an American car. I have a Ford Focus. I used to think that I would get a Volkswagen when I could afford one because of the German thing, but then I was in Michigan City and there were no Volkswagen dealers, so I got a Ford Focus. Ryan L. Russell says, defend your geek cred immediately! That's not a question. Oh wait, supposed to be in the form of a question. What is, defend your geek cred immediately?
Greek geek cred?
Geek cred. Greek cred?
Greek geek?
I know a few like words of ancient Greek that are cool. Like,
right, we were playing around with etymology.
Poikilos.
Poikilos?
That's one of Sappho's favorite words. It's like dappled.
Dappled?
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing the mic is sensitive.
Mic is sensitive. Okay, defending my geek cred. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for years and years. I made my honors college senior project was a tabletop role-playing game based on Moby Dick and H.P. Lovecraft. I took some of my research from that and put it into an article that was published by in Pyramid, the magazine of Steve Jackson games. I've been using Linux off and on for a number of years. Use it exclusively at home now. Played World of Warcraft since release, and those are the main areas.
Now,
my favorite book is Moby Dick.
There's a little bit of a competition here now. When did you start using Linux?
I started using Linux when my mom got rid of her old computer, and I put it on that one. which would have been when she got married. She got married in 2001.
Okay. Whew. So I started in 99. Okay,
Okay.
I feel a little better.
Okay, what is the Oculus Habit says, what is the most efficient way to sort 1,032-bit integers? Have Mike do it. Oculus Habit also asks, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? No. The best pizza has green olives and feta cheese and possibly sausage. Oculus Habit asks, what is your oldest memory? I remember preschool. So I remember I had a towel with my name on it, and there was a Kermit doll and a sandbox and a big picture of Jesus. It was at a Methodist church. Some woman asks, bill splitting, equally or according to what each person ordered? Probably according to what each person ordered, because there's always someone who's like really broke and is going to sit there and do nothing but drink coffee all night. I don't know. That's the sort of groups I hang out with.
Oddly enough, that ties in well with how I end up, building my social circles.
Mike Mall asks, what kind of beer do you like? My favorite types of beers actually usually end up being English or Scottish, despite my general love of German things, although there's some very good German beers. Scottish ales are probably the best, my favorite. Oculus Habit asks, were you taller than the other kids in school at any point? If so, when? I'm still taller than the other kids. But I've been the same height as I am now, which is 5'9", since I was like a freshman in high school. So Mike remembers when I was in high school I was way taller than him.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're on to another page.
Alright, bumping over to my LiveJournal. Some anonymous person who's very lucky I'm not announcing their IP address says, obvious question, current favorite and least favorite programming languages. My favorite languages? The ones I know. My least favorite? The ones I don't know. There you go.
Good job.
Oh well, actually, seriously though, if you check out my user page in Rosetta Code, you at least have some idea of the languages that I do know. My day job is coding in C++ on Windows. Oddly enough, you spend enough time with the low levels on Windows, and you can learn to not hate Windows. But you do end up learning to hate, the vast majority of third-party developers, including yourself. Let's see. Alright, so now we pop over to my Facebook copy of this meme post. Thorsten asked, let's see, well, since nobody asked yet, I'll be the first. How long have I been thinking about getting married? And related to that, when I was younger, did I think I was going to get married one day? Was I for or against it? Just as there are people who know from childhood on that they'll have kids or won't. Bonus question: what do you know? How long will it take until you first really regret getting married? I don't know if he knows that Dagny's sitting here with me, or that he knew that she was going to be sitting here with me. Let's see. How long have you been thinking about getting married? Well, if we're talking about, whether or not I've been thinking about getting married since I was in 2nd grade. Every guy has their crushes. But I didn't, I wasn't certain I met the right person until actually about a year ago. It took me, it took 2 or 3 months before I was able to, before it seemed the right time to bring up the subject, or at least the subject of going out.
Mm-hmm.
There were some context things in there, and I needed to stand back for a while. Let's see, but I was pretty close to thinking out. It wasn't nothing like long-term relationship was ever going to happen. I was getting ready to, you know, figure out. I've always wanted to have a great influence on the world. If having kids and influencing your kids is the easiest way to do that. Well, the most long-term way is usually the longest-term way to do that. But I was getting ready to switch over and look at any my intellectual pursuits as as how I would have a long-term influence on the world. The only way I would have a long-term influence on the world. I'm glad that that it looks like I can do both. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. Bonus question. How long will it take until I first really regret getting married? I don't know. I mean, it's between between the time when it's going to be about two. It'll be when we get married. We'll have been together for about 2 years. So any regrets for the long-term commitment, I hope will already have been examined and dealt with, and moved on from. So that's the whole point of waiting the 2 years. Let's see. No more questions on Facebook. Dagny has looks like three questions on Facebook. I need my hand there. Zoom in.
Okay.
Enhance.
Dan Marsh asks, have you picked up the new Orson Scott Card book yet? No. I probably should. Either pick it up to buy or from the library. Robert Lloyd Nink asks, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Bet you ask that to all the girls, don't you? Yeah. Dan Marsh once again asks, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? 42.
In what units?
Yes.
Rock bands are not units of measurement. That's not even rock, is it?
It's progressive rock.
Progressive rock? Okay. Their lyrics never made any sense to me.
No, it's called drugs.
Oh. I thought that was the instrumentation.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. Well, we seem to have run out of questions. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I appreciate anybody who's managed to listen to me drone. I know that when I start talking for extended periods of time, I start getting into a monotonous thing with words not very well spaced, and I'm doing it right now as a demonstration because I wanted to do a run-on thing. But you probably should stop the video before I do this for another 20 or 30 minutes.